Works on the fantastic Arctic Arena, the new and revolutionary stadium of Bodø Glimt in Norway, continue, and now we are going to see how the stadium is looking right now. Shall we go? Hello my friends! Now we are going to Norway to see how the works are progressing on the new stadium of Bodø Glimt, the sensation of the last edition of the Champions League. While we are talking, the current images of the work are passing on your screen. These works have entered an accelerated pace in the Taleåkeren region. We will detail the work fronts of this futuristic project built above the Arctic Circle, which promises to be a global milestone. At this exact moment, work fronts at the construction site of the new Bodø Glimt Stadium in Norway present significantly distinct stages of evolution amongst the four sectors of the sports complex, characterizing a scenario of accelerated structural transition focused on the consolidation of heavy engineering and the preparation of peripheral foundations. In the main sector, located in the central area of the complex, workers and engineers concentrate their efforts on the transition between the heavy structural phase and the subsequent stages of finishing and technical detailing. In this specific quadrant, the raw part of civil engineering for the stands is fully completed, with the cast in place and precast concrete fronts permanently seated in the design positions. Parallel to this advancement of the masonry and concrete base, the installation of the heaviest and most robust part of the upper metallic roof was also finalized, ensuring the stabilization of the large beams that support the upper protection on this side of the stadium. However, despite the visual grandeur caused by the completion of this macro structure of support and seating, the main sector still demands a significant volume of manual interventions and operational refinements essential for its homologation and full utilization. The list of immediate pending tasks includes the rigorous execution of internal and external architectural details, all the meticulous work of finishing exposed surfaces, the mass installation of plastic chairs and retractable seats for fans, as well as the fixing of safety handrails on staircases and circulatory access ramps. Added to this is the need for the complete finalization of the internal operational rooms, media broadcast booths, changing rooms, corporate hospitality areas, and public toilets, which are still in a structural skeleton stage, lacking wiring, cladding, and final hydraulic installations. On the central opposite side of the stadium, visual panorama and the civil execution schedule are at a substantially earlier stage compared to the main stand. In this perimeter, the earth-moving works and deep geological stabilization have already reached important milestones, since all the underlying foundation necessary to support the weight of the future building has been successfully executed and cured. Currently, the technical teams concentrate their activities on the meticulous preparation of the ground that will serve as a base for fixing the vertical support pillars. Through recent aerial images and technical field inspections, it can be observed that the soil has been completely leveled, compacted and graded by the surveying and heavy machinery operation teams. This flat and homogeneous surface is ready to begin the process of assembling the formwork, positioning the steel reinforcements, and the subsequent pouring of concrete for the vertical pillars that will rise to receive the raked beams, and the precast steps of the grandstand in this opposite sector, marking the imminent start of the vertical elevation phase of the concrete structure in the sectors located behind the goals. The pace of development exposes a clear asymmetry between the two ends of the playing field. Evaluating the sector located behind the goal to the left of the main stand, a visible evolution in the verticalization of the stadium can be noticed. In this space, the vast majority of the fundamental support pillars and structural support columns have already been properly installed and fixed on their reinforced concrete bases. These vertical support structures are aligned and ready for the next logistical and constructive phase. The schedule indicates that very soon this quadrant should begin to receive the first horizontal pieces, connection beams, and peripheral closing elements, starting the structural binding that will draw the definitive shape of this side of the Norwegian arena. On the other hand, the sector position behind the goal to the right of the main stand is configured today as the zone with the lowest rate of physical and constructive progress in the entire Bodø Glimt construction site. Upon inspecting this specific area, total absence of erected pillars or visible vertical structural elements above ground level is noted. Up to this moment, there are no visible pile caps or metallic and concrete columns pointing to the sky. Despite this relative delay compared to the other sectors of the stadium, the groundwork has not been neglected by the civil engineering front. The ground corresponding to this right side was subjected to an intensive process of earth moving, deep drainage, and soil stabilization. Currently, the area is very well prepared, clean, clear of debris, and properly compacted, offering the ideal mechanical and topographical conditions for the drilling rigs and foundation teams to enter the site and begin driving piles or assembling the foundation blocks necessary for the subsequent elevation of the pillars, following the logical sequence of the attack plan established for civil engineering. If you want to closely follow this work and are not yet subscribed, take the opportunity and subscribe, because we are going to follow everything about this work and others more. Also leave a like. The club's board took advantage of the momentum of its excellent recent campaigns to get a grand investment of 1,200,000,000 Norwegian kroner off the ground, the equivalent of about 650 million reais. As you can see right now on your screen in the project, the great differentiator of this project lies in its innovative Arctic design. Anyone observing the projections of the site notices the planning of a striking geometric structure with a shape inspired by a rough diamond. This architectural choice is not just aesthetic. The angling of the faces and the distribution of weight were specifically designed to withstand the accumulation of heavy snow and the extreme winds characteristic of northern Norway. Another fundamental pillar that is already mobilizing local suppliers is sustainability applied to civil construction. The workers are preparing the basis to receive a mixed structure that prioritizes the use of local certified wood and fully recycled aluminum. The choice of these materials drastically reduces the carbon footprint of the construction site, eliminating the excessive use of traditional concrete and integrating the building perfectly into the surrounding natural landscape. The new arena will have a fixed capacity for 10,000 comfortably seated fans. All the internal infrastructure of changing rooms, lounges, and press booths is being erected under the strict requirement standards of UEFA. This ensures that as soon as the gates are open, the stadium will be completely homologated and prepared to host international elite matches and big nights of European competitions without the need for last-minute adaptations. With the current schedule advancing rigorously on time, the forecast for total completion and handover of the keys is scheduled for the autumn of 2027. Until then, Bodø Glimt continues to play its home games at the old Aspmyra Stadion, preparing the fans for the historic transition toward one of the most sustainable and technological arenas on the planet. We'll continue monitoring the work. If you liked it, leave a like, and before you go, I leave you another video in the card. A hug, and until next time.